All right, welcome to the Vision and Intention 30-day follow-up. Welcome, welcome. So the intention for today is to check in with respect to successes that you've had. And successes don't have to be big. They can be a realization. There can be a small goal of perhaps writing a letter or taking an initiative, or even having written a goal and you're clear on that goal. So in our vision and intention, we had a few steps that we completed. One was the guiding words, and everyone is unique. So the guiding words. Question, do you review your guiding words every single day or word? Guiding word. It's a daily practice. Manifesting, setting a vision and intention, and being able to manifest that vision is a daily practice. Where do the thoughts go? Are our thoughts supportive of the guiding word? We listened to The Secret by Earl Nightingale. And that was a 30-day challenge that he presented. Question, did you listen to that for 30 days? That particular recording was a challenge, and also to keep in mind our goal. One goal. When we do something daily, so it becomes a habit, it starts to change our thinking process. We don't focus on, oh, what if? Or I can't do this. It's okay, we start off with this is our goal, and we see the end result. The end result of whatever it is. As an example, if you are interested in buying a home, that can be the end result. As we start to go through the sequence, you might do research on where do you buy the home? At this moment, do you have the finances to put a down payment? Can you get a mortgage? What type of home? Small, townhome, single dwelling, bungalow? Do we go condo with a townhome, or do we go with an independent? So those are lots of different questions. It means that you do a little bit of research on what works best. What are your likes? How would you like your home to look? And it's about refining our goal. So we know we want to buy a home. What about the interior? What is needed? 1 bedroom? 2 bedrooms? 3 bedrooms? 4? Single garage? Double garage? Triple garage? Those are questions that you ask and then you determine. What are some colors that you like? What's the style that you like? Do you like open concept, or do you like to have a lot of different rooms? Do you like to have it bright, or would you prefer to have with a lot of windows, or do you prefer to have less windows? That is just an example, and there's other things that you would break down in terms of, okay, so who's going to be your realtor? Where do you go to get your mortgage? What does it take to get your mortgage? Lots of different questions. And yet, what was the goal? Buying a home. So with any goal that you chose for this year, small, medium, big, it's breaking down what steps and questions to ask and become more and more clear. So having the end in mind, this is my goal, and it doesn't have to be done in 1 year. It could maybe spill over to 2 years. Maybe you don't find the right home in 2026. Perhaps you find it in 2027. But you're doing research in the meantime, and you also notice what speaks to you, what flows to you, people that come, sometimes words, phrases. You're looking at magazines and you see, wow, I really like that concept. And then, wow, I heard great things about this particular neighborhood. So have the end in mind with whatever goal you selected, and then do your research. Break it down. What do you need to know? And then what's the next step? And then what's the next step? Perhaps you get clarity on further down, meaning you like to have open concept, but you don't have the finances all settled yet. And that's okay. Now you know that you want to have open concept, and then you focus on a little bit more of the financing part. Once you have focused on, yep, I'm okay in the finance area, or as you are doing that, you can continue expanding what it is that you would like to bring into the home. How would you like your furniture? Things like that. Lots of detail. But be clear on the end in mind, and then take it back to the very beginning. Where are you at right now? What do you know about homes? What do you know about realtors? What do you know about dealing with realtors? What are caveats that you need to know, even about home ownership? Lots of questions, lots of research. And what if, as you're going down the pathway, you realize, you know what, I really don't want to have to manage a home. Maybe it's about renting. Your goal can change. So that is just one example. So you had your word every single day. Keep the word in mind, because we start to attract according to our word. So mine is a phrase actually for 2026, joyful visibility. And I repeat it every single day. My cards are right beside my computer, and I notice that I'm gaining visibility because that is what I'm intending for this year. What else? We also talked about the goal. So I decided to go a list of goals because I've been doing this for a while, but starting off with one goal, you look at your goal on a daily basis and look at, what else can I do? What else can I do to clarify that goal? What do I need to do? What do I need to research? Now, in the Earl Nightingale recording, he stated this phrase that's from the Sermon on the Mount: ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone who asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. That was from the Sermon on the Mount. So if there's uncertainty, or say we feel, I don't know that I can do this goal, ask for guidance to reach the goal. And if it's a personality trait that we are struggling with, set the goal on how you wish to show up. So I went a little further with my goal or goals, and I also wrote a card on who I am, meaning how I want to show up in my life, in my community, in family, with friends. So I wrote things like being loving and caring, integral, being a lifelong student, being wise. I also wrote, my name is Sandra, and the definition of Sandra comes from Alexandra, helper of mankind. So my goal in my life that I've realized is I do have a desire to help people, especially when they're in difficult circumstances. It's been something I've been doing since I've been quite young, and I didn't realize until I looked at my name and the definition of my name that it means helper of mankind. Isn't that cool? So what are some other things? Well, I create healing communities. Do I have all that figured out? No, but I do have a vision on what that looks like. So we can set a goal for ourselves that we learn, I don't know, maybe we learn to be more patient. Perhaps we learn to show up differently in the world, in certain circumstances. So we choose how we want to be. And we set that as a goal too. So every single day we can read that card. Who am I? who I am, because you set the intention. This is how I show up in the world. This is how I deal with people. This is how I deal with my family. These are the qualities I want to display and also be. And if they're qualities that we believe we don't have, look in your past to see where you already have demonstrated it. Because chances are you've demonstrated it in different areas of life. However, we have not noticed that we've already done or practiced that quality. And maybe we're still having a bit of a challenge, but as soon as we start to see, wow, you know what, I've already done this there, and I've done this here, and I've done this here, and we start to realize, we've been practicing all along. So this has been part of my journey. I'm sharing that because I too had times where I kept looking at certain people and admired, wow, I really want to be like that person. And it was a quality that I didn't see I already had. I still practiced, but as soon as I started to notice that I was kind of attracting situations for me to see, wow, I do know what to say. One of my false beliefs was I didn't have the words and I didn't know what to say in certain situations. And when I look back, it's great to have someone to look up to admire and kind of model. Then you can start looking at yourself. Where am I already doing it? And perhaps acknowledge, own that trait. And then we can bring this experience, even if it seems like they're tiny things, we can bring it into bigger situations. So the wonderful thing about living is that we're constantly learning, growing, and evolving. And we had a new moon this past week. The new moon is very high in energy. What does that mean? So we are made of energy, and around us we're surrounded by energy. When there's a change in the moon cycles and also the planets, certain characteristics can rise. When there's full moon energy, what it does is it actually kind of forces things to be seen. Now, if you've been following the news, I don't want to dwell on that for too long, we've seen things that are kind of coming out from behind the curtains. It's like, oh my goodness, that's been happening and I didn't know that. Well, the same thing with us. We see certain things, it's like, oh, wow, you know, I didn't realize this is my pattern. Not a bad thing. It's about awareness, because as soon as we have awareness, we can ask for direction from intuition, our soul, creator, the universe, direction on, please assist to help me learn this. And it doesn't have to be hard. It can be perhaps someone comes into your circle and that person can assist, kind of like training wheels on a bike. You have the training wheels and then the training wheels are removed. You don't realize the training wheels are gone, but you've just done it by yourself. That person can be kind of like an assistant to help with the growing. And then that person is still by your side, but you're doing all the work, like you're doing the success, right? And that person is just by your side. Just having that person there can be a comfort, which is good. I have looked, just to share a little bit, I have, over the years, looked at certain individuals and said, you know what, I really like that quality. And then I would keep it as a goal of, you know, I like the way she or he does this or says that. I want to learn it. And over time, when I look back, because I set it as a goal for myself, I eventually saw how I grew, but I needed to take time to actually see that, write it out. Where did I do that particular trait? And all the successes, because as soon as we start to see, well, I did it here and I did it there, and look how I spoke about this, and I did it there and I did it there, all of a sudden the energy builds in the body. There is an energetic thing that happens. The belief in ourselves increases, and then we own that trait. We own that pattern, or what we admired in someone, we realize, oh my goodness, I've mastered it. Now, we can still be in training, meaning we master it and we just kind of keep refining and refining and refining. The wonderful thing about being a human being is that we're always learning, constantly growing and evolving. And there's many people that we can kind of look at, kind of as to have as a goal, but we really want to acknowledge the skills and abilities and who we are, the wonderful, amazing human being that we are and what we offer. Because as soon as we start to see the beautiful heart as an example, or, you know, how we show up with our friends, all the skills we have, you know, our love, our joy, all those different traits, and they're unique to everybody. As soon as we start to acknowledge, this is who I am, this is my package, so to speak, that I bring to my community and my friends, we start to honor ourselves. As women, society has trained us to make ourselves small. And the new moon energy is shifting. It's helping us shift to transcend generational, ancestral, societal beliefs and habits. So let's use this energy to assist us in our growth. Let's use the energy, higher energy, to transcend and transform. And wherever we're at, let's acknowledge the fact that we lived and we took care of all the problems that we dealt with in the past. Like, we literally, wherever we're at in life, we dealt with a lot of problems and we had a lot of solutions and we did some amazing things. So let's start off with taking inventory of who we are, what we've accomplished, and loving ourselves for how far we've become. And also the challenges or even traumas that we dealt with. How much strength it actually took to stay the course in living a daily life. Many people may not be able to handle the challenges or the trauma that we've dealt with. So let's start off by acknowledging who we are, loving ourselves, and even if we feel that there's an area that we'd like to, say, improve upon or to work towards, it's okay. Consider it, we're in training. Every single day we're in training and we get better and better at mastering. So we're not lost causes, and especially females, women, we offer a gentleness to the world. We offer community. This is what females, women are good at. In families, women usually are the ones that lead in creating rituals for the family, like Christmas traditions, or, you know, the fact of getting together. And if we don't have a family unit like we would consider it to be, we have family in different forms. What friends do we have that we consider like family? So what traditions do we have where we create these beautiful rituals with family? So when women are empowered, the energy of a woman actually helps a family thrive. And again, it can be your physical children, but it can also be friends, and we form a family that way, whoever we consider to be our family. So when a woman thrives, when we love each other, we love ourselves, we bring amazing capability and qualities to society. When a woman is empowered, communities are empowered. So the family members, and then it ripples out to community, and it ripples out past the community. When women do not acknowledge their power, and society tries to kind of dim down our light, society does not thrive. So women offer a great gifts to friends, family, community. So let's start off by honoring ourselves on a daily basis. If we have to, let's look in the mirror and actually recite what it is that you see, what it is that you have as traits. I love myself. I love the way I have a big heart, the way I care. Write them out and then say them to yourself so you can love yourself first. When we love ourselves, even if we were to identify an area that we're not comfortable with, or, you know, I'd love to do better in that area, it's a starting point. So then we can start again with end in mind. I would like to own this trait. I'd like to be able to do X, Y, Z. Keep saying, I am whatever, empowered, I am gifted, I am standing up for myself as a woman. Whatever it is, state the end in mind, or on a daily basis, how you would like to be. So what happens now, your mind, your brain is going to start to seek for all the different times when you stand up and that you complete that goal. And it could be in smaller situations, and it gets bigger and bigger. Your brain is going to start looking for all those situations where you come across as empowered, even if there might be a little bit of fear inside. But you'll notice, wow, I did better in this situation. I'm really proud of what I did here and what I said there. Standing up and being respectful for oneself. In the session that we had, I did remember there was a comment about, well, I don't really have my full, like I'm not quite sure where I'm going in my life, or I don't have full clarity with my vision board. And that's great awareness. It's okay, because in life there are times where we don't know where we're going. We're kind of at a fork in the road, and it's determining, you know, which way we want to go. So it's awareness. How do we want to go? When we ask the question, what would be most fulfilling for me, direction-wise, and just keep asking the question, then answers start to come. Remember in the workshop, I had mentioned that the brain works by answering questions. So if we were to ask a question such as, okay, I'm not sure which way to go, which is the best route for me to take in my life? That's just one question. And if the brain says, I don't know, if we were to settle on that, then the brain stops looking for answers. But as soon as we keep saying, okay, I hear you, I don't know, what is the best route for me to take in my life? What is fulfilling for me? How would I love to spend the next 5 or 10 years? Those are questions to expand on that question. We didn't allow the brain to stop with, I don't know. Because the brain is going to take the easiest route out, and it will just kind of stop there. But if we keep asking the question, high quality questions, what is the best route for me? What would be fulfilling? What would I love to do with my life? That last question, that one really spoke to me. What would I love to do with my life? How do I want to show up in my life? Those are open-ended questions. And then every single day I ask the question, and every single time there's something that comes our way, or perhaps a thought, and it'll come in and say, oh, well, I would love to do this. I would love to be, I don't know, happy, or I would love to feel fulfilled. So the more clarity comes when you keep asking the question, what would I love to do with my life? Leave it open-ended, what comes in. I'm going to do a very short process using sound tools. So with a sound bowl, and then I'll be using tuning forks, and I'll end off with a chime. Sound is very, very powerful, and it affects our cells. So we're surrounded by sound all the time. So right now I've got the furnace on, I can hear the furnace. And for me, that's a soothing sound. At least I know I've got heat in the house. If there's gurgling in the stomach, I know that I have had food. Now it's time for me to eat, as an example. Or there's digestion happening. So good sounds. When we listen to music, there can be sounds supporting us. And there can also be sounds that kind of feel, oh, where you start to feel, wow, that just, I'm getting really upset. So sound can affect us, our mood, and it can also affect the way we operate. So the sounds and the tuning forks I'm going to be using are designed, so they're by John Beaulieu, and John Beaulieu has done a fair bit of research, scientific research, on the chords and harmonies and specific sounds that will assist with moving forward with life direction. So if there's something in the way, like perhaps a belief, so beliefs, there's an intensity, and there can also be, when they're negative beliefs, there can be like a thickness, almost like something hampering you from flowing. So the intention with this, we'll set the intention that the sound process, help with clearing the way from an energetic perspective, so that answers come your way, so you become more and more clear on your life direction, more and more clear on who you are and the marvelous human being you are and how you show up in life, and to be very appreciative of who you are. Love yourself fully. So make yourself comfortable, feet flat on the ground, tongue is at the roof of the mouth, and your legs are hip-width apart and palms face up. So just relax and relax your shoulders. And if you find your shoulders are feeling tight, just invite your shoulders to relax. Now, if you wish, throughout this process, you can have your eyes closed so you can really tune in on what's happening in your body. And consider doing a scan. So maybe starting from your feet and scan up through your legs and then to your hips and then further up to your torso and right up into your head, down into your arms. Check to see if there's any tension, or perhaps there's a fluttering of emotions, or perhaps a little bit of anxiety. Whatever it is, it's okay. This is simply identifying what is happening in your body. Let me stay silent. And now feel free to keep your eyes closed so that there is no outside stimulation or distractions. Bring your chin parallel to the floor and bring your ears over your shoulders. Check in with your shoulders if you're finding that the shoulders are feeling a little bit tight, or they're creeping up towards your ears. Again, set the intention that as you breathe, inhale, and then you exhale, that you relax the shoulders. On the exhalation, that there is a relaxation. So I'm going to start by creating sacred space, and I'm going to use that with the sound bowl. Feel free to follow along with the sound. So we're going to be doing a little bit of humming, but we're going to start off with 3 ohms, creating sacred space. Breathe in deeply and exhale out. And now we're going to set up this imaginary golden bubble. So anything that releases, whether it's a pattern, whether kind of like an energy, or perhaps something that's a little bit thick, as an example. Say we've got a pattern or maybe a trauma that might be stored and it feels thick and it wants to release. It's time for it to release. We're going to call on the new moon energy, and we're going to also ask that the tuning forks assist with kind of shaking things up so that things can surface and release, setting the intention that it releases gracefully and easily. And we do not need to know what it is. We can just simply say, whatever is ready to be released, allow it to release, and it's going to go into that golden bubble. We'll deal with that golden bubble very shortly. So let's inhale and exhale, cleansing breaths. And then inhale, exhale, feel free to keep the eyes closed. Let's do one more. Inhale and exhale. And let's do 3 hums. 3 hums. And check to see where those hums land in the body. So hums are vibration, they're vibrational. And you may find that the body will call the vibration into different parts. So 3 hums. Inhale. 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 Breathe and allow that frequency vibration to kind of settle in your cells and integrate. And I'm going to play some tuning forks. There'll be 2 tuning forks. Simply keep your eyes closed and let's just allow the vibration and the sound to help with releasing. Inhale deeply and exhale. Allowing the vibration to assist with releasing gently, easily. And as we release, we ask that any wisdom from either that belief or pattern, whatever it is that is releasing, we ask that the wisdom stay behind and fill the void. So in other words, say there was something that we were dealing with in the past, it could have been a trauma or habit or whatever is ready to be released. Once that releases, it leaves a little bit of a vacuum. So we ask that the wisdom from either the belief or habit or trauma, that it stays behind so that it it is no longer a vacuum, but it's filled with light, filled with wisdom. Anything that was released goes into the golden bubble. And I'll play another 2 forks. Inhale and exhale, allowing for integration, and feel free to drink water as you need it. It assists with grounding. It also assists with integration. And the next. Inhale and exhale. Allowing the body to integrate, release. And inhale and exhale. Anything being released goes into the golden bubble. Leaving behind the wisdom so that we can draw upon it in our daily life. And inhale deeply, exhale fully, And I'm going to play a chime to help. This is an earth chime, so this is to help with some grounding. Breathe in and exhale out. Allowing for integration. And now ensuring that we are fully grounded. I'll play the bowl and we'll sound out Om 3 times to help with the grounding. Again, keep your feet on the ground and let's begin. Om. Om. Breathe in through your nose and exhale through the nose. Feel free to wiggle your feet, your toes. Feel free to wiggle your fingers. Check in to see whether you have come back, meaning that you're grounded, feeling like you're here and in your body. If you're feeling a little bit lightheaded, I can recommend perhaps drinking some water. You can also stamp your feet a little bit, just lift and lower and stamp your feet a little bit. That helps you get grounded. You can also place your hands on your thighs and say rub your thighs so that you can feel your body. Feel your body. The other thing you can do is bring your hands to your heart. And as you're breathing, you can feel your body. So wherever you place your hands, feel your hands on your body. Those are different ways of grounding. And you can do this at any time because you have your hands, you have your body, you have your breath to help with grounding. And you can also set the intention. I am 100% present. I am here. So intention is very powerful. That golden bubble, we're going to invite the Creator, the universe, to take that golden bubble, seal it. Anything that's in there is going to stay there, and now it gets taken wherever it is needed next. For transformation, transmutation, what has been left behind is the wisdom on whatever was released. So we're grateful for the opportunity of whatever it was that we had, that we were dealing with, that was in our body, because it caused us to learn. So now we have the wisdom, the tuning forks. The protocol was about life direction. So I invite you, perhaps after we're done here, perhaps consider journaling what you're feeling, what you're noticing. You will get a copy of the replay, so you can always come back and revisit the process. You can always listen to some of the recommendations that I shared and a few things about my life, it may give you some point of reflection for yourself. And also, as a reminder, consider listening to the secret that Earl Nightingale shared. It was a 30-day challenge. Consider reviewing your word on a daily basis. Consider your goal on a daily basis. And then watch what opens up. Let's use the new moon energy with high quality questions to help bring us the wisdom to guide us to the next step towards reaching the goal. And remember, we're in training. So if we stumble, it means we're simply learning, and we bring in guidance, we bring in wisdom. There are no stumbling blocks, they're stepping stones. As long as we view situations that come towards us as a stepping stone, yeah, sometimes it can be painful, but view it as a stepping stone. What am I learning? Who am I meeting? Who's coming into my life? Whoever comes into the life may be the next piece of the puzzle for where our life is going to go. And we discover, wow, this is exactly where I want to go. And that person is instrumental in kind of guiding us down that pathway. So set in good intentions for yourself. Whatever words you say to yourself, whatever loving words you say to yourself, whatever you say to yourself in the mirror, make them count. Make them loving words. Make them supportive words. Set nice intentions for yourself, and intentions that will help you meet your goals. Again, following this, you'll receive the recording, and feel free to email or reach out to me by phone or even by messenger. If you're having a little bit of a challenge, feel free to send me a question or a note, and we can chat or we can email. I hope you found this process to be assisting where you're at, and also a reminder that wherever we're at is perfect, and we're constantly learning, growing, and evolving, and we honor our process. There are no accidents. Thank you for joining. Until next time.